mother would be like, listen, feed her, put her to sleep, you're good. Yeah. So my friend would be like waiting in her car outside my building, like I'd be upstairs like this. I'm talking to her, right? And I'm like, as soon as you go to sleep, mommy, step in now. I need you to help me out. You know what I mean? But I was always, my responsibility was there. Mm-hmm. She was my responsibility.
Right.
But at the same time, they allowed me to still grow up. They allowed me to still be me.
Welcome to Life Unlearned. My name is Zenitra, and I started this series so that we could explore the expectations that we had of adulthood and kind of really look at the process that we had to go through to unlearn certain behaviors so that we could really be successful in the life that we're currently living. Very excited today to have Regina Dowdell with us today as we explore all things parenting. Woo. So to kind of kick things off, tell me, fill in the blank for me. I used to think
that parenting was easy. I thought you were completely in control. The kids just did what you said, and everything would roll and roll. I was so wrong. I was wrong.
What was the first time when you really learned, like, I'm not in control? Like, what happened?
So, I have a hard time with breaking things that are already base level, maybe down even further.
Okay.
And I will never forget, Kim started school at 2. And she had homework, and it was like basic math, like the most basic math. And she didn't get it. And I literally was like, I don't understand. What don't you get? Like, this is just what it is. Like, what don't you get? And I was like, they think differently. They're going to do what they want. You just got to reel it in. You have to find a way that they actually are going to understand it.
Right.
Like, you don't control this. You have to figure this thing out. And I was like, oh, hell, I'm in for a ride. So that was I could like see myself near tears at my dining table right now.
So tears come from parenting.
PTSD, girl.
PTSD, everything. We're constantly living in that. So you go through this experience where you kind of have to abandon everything that you already knew before thought you knew. Right? I always like to say my favorite line is I was a much better parent before I had kids.
Oh, for sure.
I had answers.
In my head, he knew what to do.
Yes.
And then you get faced with it and you're like, wow, that's not gonna work.
No. Or you do it and you do it again and it still doesn't work. And then you're forced to change, you're forced to bend and be flexible. Tell us about, an instance with Kendall where you had to bend, flex, abandon what you thought you knew.
It's interesting because Kendall and I are so different, yes, so like, but the things that make us different stress me out. Oh. So, it is always this. It is never neat. And that stresses me out. Because for me, it is, okay, this is neat, it's fine. Everybody wants space. Right? Everybody wants a clear space because your space is like representative of your mind space. So like, everything is clear. So I went in there one day and I was like, oh, this is crazy. Clear this up. And I walked out and I came back and like 2 things were up. And I was like, but I gave you this directive.
Right.
When I was giving directives, I just went ahead and did it.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized I had to, okay, pick up that shirt, pick up that deck of cards, pick up that. So I knew a parent told you to do it, you do it, but I had to shift with what she responds to.
Right.
And I literally have to sit in her driveway on the door jam, and I'm like, and then that cookie box, and then that, and I have to literally piece by piece it.
So it's a process of teaching her how to respond to you.
Yes, and learning how she's going to
Learning
respond.
how to teach her.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. That's I don't know. So let's talk a little bit about those differences. Is there a certain category that you put yourself in that Kendall's in a separate category? Like, what's some of the vocabulary that makes sense to describe how you guys?
So I am a linear thinker. There is a straight line. This is how we get from A to B. Kendall is not. So she's like way more creative. It's a little. There's a path to get there.
Yeah.
So she'll come to me with something, and I'm like, how did we get here? And her path there, it's unbelievable. But to her, it makes all the sense in the world. And I think over time, I've truly come to appreciate that path because it has helped me get a little, because I'm like super logical.
Right.
And it's helped me loosen up a little bit in that. And I'm like, okay, wait, maybe there could be a little squiggle in your path.
Okay.
But I think the way that we think is very different. But me understanding the way that she thinks is actually helped me.
And how early did you notice that she,
Like 2.
Oh,
it was really like, what are we doing here? What happened? And then, but she would always, because she's always been like very verbal, and it was always like, okay, this is how I got here.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that makes sense to you, blessings.
Yeah.
And then as she got older and of course more articulate, and then me watching her, you have to pay attention
Absolutely.
to it. That's a huge part of parenting too. And it's just, okay, I see what she's doing, I see how she did it, and now I can like see it in the face.
You can logically make sense of it.
Logically make sense of the lack of life.
That makes sense.
Story of my life.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Take me back to like parenting a young Kendall, and there's articles that tell you that this is the way that you're supposed to parent. This is what you're supposed to do. Did you ever break any of those rules?
Yeah, so my mom used to get really frustrated with me because I was like article queen when I was younger. And I'm like, this book said, da 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 da. And she's like, yeah, all right, I won't say anything else, I won't. And it really took, what was it? I think it was school. So they were saying that homework shouldn't take more than a certain amount of time a night because then it's your quality time, you're going to dinner, and then it's the bath, and then they're in the bed, and all of that. And we weren't fitting into what this article said was supposed to happen with a kid of this age, etc. And I was just like, I don't understand. But I was like, well, if I'm understandable later, I get more peace at night. She's good in the morning. If we break the homework up to like 15 minutes here, then you go chill for a second, and 15 minutes here, etc. So we had to find our groove, and that was me breaking free from all of the you should.
I actually find that is one of the more rewarding parts of parenting because you really get to decide what parenting looks like for your child, for your household. And I know you have one, but when you have multiple kids, then that shifts and adjusts based off of their personalities. So that's one of the things that I enjoy about parenthood, and that's one of the things where I kind of have some control, even though there's a little person that has a lot of impact on that.
It is one of the better parts of it, and I think I've actually learned to find joy in the process of figuring that out.
Yeah.
So is this the bedtime? Do we cook dinner at this time?
Mm-hmm.
What is that process? Because you know it. It's get that every night procedure down,
right,
and you will be a happy mom.
Right.
So it's really that give and take and figuring out what works and what doesn't. I think that's awesome.
Well, it sounds like you have that. I still feel like I don't.
It's going to take a very long time.
Oh, okay. I'm still new. I'm only 7 years in.
I'm 13 years in.
So I'm not even yet.
We had to work this out.
Okay.
And we're still tweaking. Always tweaking.
Still tweaking.
Always tweaking.
So it's interesting because I feel like whenever we talk about the frustrations of parenthood, that people look at it with like such a loving glare, like, oh, but you just weren't through it and you love your child. But there are some things that like I straight up don't like about parenthood.
Yeah.
About being a mom. And I just want to know, do you feel the same way? Are there some things where you're just like, I don't care, I don't like it?
Yes. I would say when she was younger, there were a lot more of those things. I think we have gotten to a point where, like, someone in the mall the other day was like, are you guys sisters? Like, we've gotten to the point where we've developed a relationship where we understand each other so well that, like, we get it.
Yeah.
So we're fine. But when she was younger, I think the expectations from other people really blew my, because I have never cared about what anybody thought about the way I was doing anything.
Right.
But when you become a parent, that is triple, quadruple, and there's all of this, and I can't go around cursing everybody out, which would be my response to it. Yeah, exactly. So I can't go around cursing everybody out. So I think like that's one of the things where I'm like, everybody can just mind their business here.
Yeah.
Keep your opinion to yourself unless I'm in danger.
Right.
If that's not the case, then please back up. That's one of the things. And then I gotta say, I don't like homework. I don't like it.
So that part doesn't get better, is what you're saying?
13 years old.
Okay.
And it's getting harder now. So now we're getting to the spots where I had some issues.
Okay.
So sometimes the homework part comes and I'm like, you don't want me to help like, I don't remember this, and I wasn't ever going to do that. So we're going to pull somebody else in here to help you out.
You definitely need a village to help you in those times.
Yes.
I find that for me, I used to think that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom.